Hello friends, this is Kate from Kate's Crafting Corner, and I am here for my January WIPGO preview. It is a couple days into January, and so I'm a bit late on doing this. If you watched my 2023 plans and preview, you will know that I have 6 WIPGO boards this year. I have 2 cross-stitch ones. One is a cross-stitch WIPGO board, and the other one is a Christmas cross-stitch WIPGO board. A couple of the Christmas ones are more like winter, but it's close enough. I have a crochet one, a knitting one, and 2 reading ones. So I'm hoping this year to actually at the start of each month or at the end of the previous month when she actually does her drawing to do a preview video for the upcoming month. So, this year for my cross stitch WIPGO board, I did do a few things differently. I am aiming to do 1,000 stitches. So each of these boxes represents 100 stitches. So as the number is drawn, that month I'm hoping to do 1,000 stitches on it. I'm not making it a goal to revisit that WIP later in in each subsequent month, but I am hoping for challenge groups to draw as much as I can from WIPGO calls. So I am trying to WIP down this year. So hopefully that will help, but not have the same level of burnout I had when trying to revisit the past calls so much last year. The other thing that I did different this year is not all of my boxes are WIP specific. I did some themed ones. So for example, one box is just Heaven and Earth designs. So I want to do 1,000 stitches that month on a Heaven and Earth design. Don't know which one because I don't know right now which one is calling me. Maybe I'll end up splitting it between a couple different Heaven and Earths. I don't know. That's not the one that was called this month, but it's things like that. So like, so Northern Expression Needleworks is one. I have 4 patterns going right now for them. I could pick any of them or do $250 on all of them. No saying what. A book related frosted pumpkin pattern. I mean, just things like that. There are a couple that are specific. I have Giant Harry Potter as a specific one. Main Street Sal as a specific one. Another one is Fancy Ladies from Mirabilia. So I have a lot of Mirabilias, and I don't know which one is calling me at the time. So I thought rather than being very specific, I'd give myself some more latitude to just... And so this first month's call has one specific one and actually one category one. So these previews might be a bit different because I might end up showing you multiple WIP options, which is actually going to happen. So the first one is Halloween Rules. And the nice thing about this one being called is I hadn't yet taken it off the scroll rod, which I was going to do. So having this called so early means it's still on. I am on number 8 of this series, so there's only 4 more to go. And if I could finish this, it would be really good, as this has been a WIP for a while now. I know 1,000 stitches is more than one section. Let's see. So I'm right here at Sit for a Spell. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. I am guessing that 1,000 stitches, I'll definitely finish this one. I'll probably finish the next one and get started on that one, which would leave 2.5 to go. And maybe that'll be close enough that I'll just push myself to finish it. I mean, everything's kind of crazy at the moment with life. So I don't know, but we can dream. So I'll put that over. I need to pull out the stand again and get it set up. So the second one for this cross stitch WIPGO board is Middle Earth Designs. I have a lot of, and I was meaning maps. I didn't write down maps, but I just wrote Middle Earth Designs. I was meaning maps. So I pulled out 3 of my maps. I've got another couple, but I'm not in the mood for them, so they're not going to be what I work on. I'm not sure if I'll work on all of these, one of these, 2 of them, who knows. The first one is this map. I started it with my friend Morey, and I need to go through, I did end up getting this pattern as a saga file, so I need to go through and update actually the app with what I've stitched. I do have the pattern printed all the way out, and I highlighted off what I did. So maybe I'll just continue to work from this physical file, or maybe I'll put it on the Saga app. I haven't fully decided yet. I do really like that app though. And here is where I am at. Random thread here. I hope I can identify that color. So this is full coverage, and it's also got backstitch and blends. So here's where I'm at. It's a really great pattern. I really like it. Looks like I need to go over my lines again though, my grid lines. I did for a little while forgot I had this one. Yeah, so this might be the one I pick. Oh, maybe, I don't know. Looking at the other ones though, I love them too. This is Map of Middle Earth from Tilton Crafts. That's the mock-up. And this one I was trying out diagonal stitching. And so that's where I'm at, not very far. Especially considering this one this is super large. 875 by 975 by 810. That's a lot of stitches. So I didn't like any of the prompts this year for Full Coverage Fanatics, and I didn't finish my prompts last year or really work on them at all. So I'm thinking I might just revisit them and do that. The next one, or the final one for this prompt that is in contention, is this map of Rohan and Gondor. You can get this on Etsy. And so this is not full coverage. It's single color. And so you're stitching all of that. And I love this one so much. It is such nice, fun stitching to do. When you only want to work with one color, it's great. And so this is where I'm at. And I think that looks really good. I love how those mountains are looking. So who knows, maybe I'll try to do 1,000 stitches on all of them. Let's not get overly ambitious, but also let's. It's hard to reel myself in when, like, in my head I can do everything and reality is like, yeah, you can't do any of it. Okay, so that's the first of the cross stitch WIPGOs. The next one is Christmas, And so the first one is Christmas by the Letter from Lizzie Kate. Kind of interesting. I only have 3 Lizzie Kate patterns, and 2 of them got called in the first month. This is what it will look like in the end. I really like that. And here is where I'm at. I'm on the first R. Eek, come out. Okay. The first R of Mary. So 1,000 stitches should be some pretty good progress, maybe both R's. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves thinking we can do everything. The second one is the North Pole Welcome Salve from Tempting Tangles. And actually I think I need to print the next pattern part. Or maybe not. No, I printed out part 2 already. Okay. I should be fine then. Oh, I printed out part 3 even. Okay, I'm fine. I don't need to print out anymore at this point. I do not have a preview of picture of what this will look like. I started this as it was coming out, which was in 2017. I wasn't loving it in the first couple of parts. I also didn't like having to go on the Facebook group every time to pull the files, so. But as the rest of it came out, I came to actually really like it, so I want to continue on it. So this is all that I have done. So clearly there's a lot more to go. Yeah, so that is my 4 cross stitch calls for this month. And so that equals like 4,000 stitches, which I think should be doable. I'm hoping to fit that into a bunch of prompts. But we'll see. Moving on to my knitting ones. I was pretty happy with the first, well, I actually was happy with both hauls. Both of them are projects I wanted to go back to. So the first one was actually my prairie socks. I finished one in November, shortly before Christmas. And this is what shortly before Vlogmas. And this is what it looks like. And it was a nice, simple pattern. That's a bit harder to see on this particular yarn base. But anyways, so I just have one more sock to do, which is fantastic that I hadn't started it yet, because you can't start one. Excuse me. You can't you can't have it started for it to count for a class for Harry Potter knitting and crochet. Then it only counts for detention, and so it's an unstarted second sock counts as its own project. The last one, or the second knitting one that was called, is for a project that I had started for, oh goodness, what have I done? That I had started for I think an owl. Yeah, it was for an owl, and I didn't finish it. So I'm glad it got called so I can come back to it. And this is called the Beach Days wrap. And so I think I'm at the halfway point. So then all of this just repeats on the other side. And so 10 hours should be pretty good progress. Apparently the problem I'm going to run into, though, is I seem to have stolen the needles. So I need to locate the needles or order another pair of needles. Let's see, what was I using? Because I apparently left the thing in here. A US 6 32 inch. I mean, maybe I'll just purchase another one off Amazon. So yeah, this is what that looks like. So I will be happy to get some more work on it. And these together are the 3 colors. I had bought this as a kit for another project for mystery, and I didn't end up liking the mystery. I didn't like how it looked. But I'm glad I found a project for these. Which brings us now to the crochet whips. And the first one I call the mistletoe of change. The pattern is actually rings of change, I believe. But the yarn cake I have is called mistletoe. And this is the small start I have in that project. I mean, that's probably pretty hard to see. So I need to figure out where I am on the pattern and put in 10 hours of work on this. So I haven't worked on this in years. Like, definitely not since I've been married, and probably even longer then. So it'll be good to get some work in on that. And the second one that was called, I haven't worked on in about 8 years, possibly close to 9. 8.5. And that is a baby blanket that I had started for my nephew when my sister was pregnant, and he just had his 8th birthday. And this sits in one of those cubbies that I'm facing right now, and has been taunting me for like 6 months at least, because I stare at it every day. And so I did look at the pattern for this. I figured out I'm over halfway done, and I just need to finish it. I have all the yarn in a big bag. I've got the pattern book in there. I just need to do it. And I'm thinking that, I mean, this seems like a pretty easy project. I don't think I can finish it in 10 hours. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm thinking I can make some significant progress on it. And depending on where I'm at after 10 hours, we'll see if I can try to push this out for a finish. But yeah, so those are my 2 crochet projects. Which brings us now to the 2 book boards. The first one is my BBC reading WIPGO, and this is years ago. BBC put out a list of like 100 books you should read, and I never read them, or I never completed the list. So I picked a combination of books I've read before and books I haven't to make this WIPGO board. There's some real doozies left on that list that I've been avoiding, so one year it's going to be a terrible WIPGO board, but this one's manageable. So the first 2 that were called is Madame Bovary, and the second one is Emma. I have read Emma before. It's been a couple years, but it is my favorite Jane Austen. So those are the 2 books that I'll be listening to. I won't be physically reading them. The 2 Taylor Swift prompts that will be for this month. The first one is Welcome to New York, so it needs to be a book set in New York. I haven't picked yet what book I will be reading or listening to. But yeah, I'm excited. I think there's a lot of good books set in New York, so it's probably going to be something more contemporary than something old, but that's okay. And then the second prompt is if this was a movie, and the prompt said book being turned into a movie. I think I'm going to count books that have been turned into a movie because I'm not up with what is at present being turned into movies or not being turned into movies. I might try to fit some of the Harry Potters in here. Or something else. I mean, there's a lot of books that are being turned into movies or have been turned into movies. But at this moment, I'm leaning towards the Harry Potters. I've been wanting to read that whole series again. For one thing, I've never actually reread the 6th or 7th book because I always get stopped in the 5th. It's a slug to get through. So I usually make it through the first 4 and give up somewhere in the 5th. So I'm really hoping to make it through the whole series this year. And, a book set in New York, I could do a Percy Jackson. It's not completely set in New York, but it's partially set in New York. I might be able to do one of the Percy Jackson books. I'll think about that. So, 2 of Portia Parker's from Hade's Stitchy Talk and Crochet and Chill. 2 of her monthly events, so 1 in each group, is to listen to an audiobook that's at least 10 hours and to either work on a Hade, if it's that Hade group, or work on a crochet project. So I will be working on probably the baby blanket while listening to some of those books from the reading challenge, and then because it needs to add up to at least 10 hours. And then for the other one, I'll be working on a Hade project. I haven't decided which one, but I'll let you guys know when I do. Just to fit that prompt. So yeah, that is my January WIPGO preview. I hope that you enjoyed that. And if you are doing WIPGO, let me know what your draws were for this month. If you have videos yourself, link them down below so that I can check them out. And as always, I hope that you're having a fantastic day. I'm going to go to bed now because it's, it's late. It's really late. So I will talk to you guys hopefully this weekend with a January preview. Bye.